What's up?
This is Draco.
And this is Alicia.
And you're now tuned in to OD
Podcast.
Oh.
Period. Hey y'all, so disclaimer y'all, we recorded 2 episodes in one day last week, so this episode may or may not align with your calendar, but at least you here. Don't cut it off.
Periana.
Keep
So
listening.
stay because we about to go all the way. We don't know where, but we on
Dang,
the way.
so last week was your birthday.
I know.
How
Oh
was
my
your trip to
gosh,
Dominican
my
Republic?
trip. It was amazing. I had some really good food.
Oh my God, dude.
I'm just playing.
All right, let's not.
I
Okay.
can't fake the trip.
We
man.
can't, because if it's gonna be some drama, you gotta be here to tell us. Okay, so
Oh yeah.
I want to get into the black biz of the week. Now, last week, y'all, I know I did a two for one kinda. I did the restaurant Fish Time, which is in Ashworth.
That was 2 weeks ago.
Listen, you know my heart. And then they have a sister restaurant called Capers in Kennesaw. Well, I went to Capers last week, and I had, from the patio, the view, it looked like you're in Costa Rica.
When you sent me there, I said,
Okay, basically, y'all, the restaurant first of all, it's black owned. Obviously, the food is extremely good. I will say I like the options in Ackworth better, but it was still really good. But anyway, from the patio, you can see like Kennesaw Mountain and all these trees and hills and stuff. And so I was like, dang, this look like Costa Rica. I said, this is Draco, and he killed my dreams, y'all.
yeah, it was not enough trees. Like, it was a lot of trees. It wasn't like rainforesty trees.
Listen, it was behind the hills. But yeah, I just want y'all to circle back and check out capersonmain.com for Capers Restaurant and Bar in Kennesaw. It is so good. It's black owned, y'all. The dessert slaps, the food slaps. I had got a pasta. Well, believe it or not, so I got a spicy seafood pasta, which was basically like you could choose the seafood you want, shrimp, salmon, whatever. It was basically like a spicy Alfredo, but it was really good. But I actually preferred it to not have no meat. Like the pasta was seasoned so well that it was really good by itself. But so yes, check out that restaurant, and we're gonna move into shop talk. All right. Something I didn't get to mention on the last episode, y'all, was how y'all's queen, Nicki Minaj,
I love his y'all's queen.
is trying to gentrify Crocs, even though it's not her intent. Okay. So first of all, if anybody knows me, I literally wear Crocs every single day. I wear Crocs to church if I can, but I haven't been to church in a long time, so that can't really, do that. But basically, by the time I hear this episode, whatever she's got coming out Friday, you will already know about. But I just want to speak on what happened yesterday. Okay, so Nicki Minaj posted this picture on this table with these embellished pink Crocs, and basically, according to my research, the Crocs sales went up 4,900%.
That's crazy.
And it wasn't even a Crocs ad. Now, it could be. She could be releasing some Crocs on Friday, but that would be counterproductive because then she wouldn't get the money off of it.
I feel like it wasn't intentional at all.
I don't think it was either. But let me tell you, it's just so funny because y'all really be shading Crocs. But it took y'all queen to wear them for y'all to realize.
But the thing is, I would say within the last 6 to 7 months, I've seen them a lot. Like, people be pressed to get Crocs and get like little embellishments on them. They be like, "Oh, I need this one, this one, this one." But I never had Crocs, and I remember when we was working at Six Flags, we used to laugh at Crocs.
Yeah, they used to be very ugly, but I was immature and not tired yet. Okay,
I actually wanted a pair, but I'm like, I feel like they're gonna make my feet sweaty. But honestly, the Yeezy slides don't make my feet sweaty, and they're the same material.
Some of them little dots on the base of them Crocs make your feet massage. I love Crocs. It's like it just create a nice feeling. I love Crocs, y'all.
Yeah, they all need you some money. That's crazy though. That's literally
4,900%.
This is the reason why influencers get paid so much money, because I watch it happen every day. And I wouldn't even consider Nicki Minaj an influencer because she doesn't post like Fashion Nova.
She is an influencer, but that's not her job.
Yeah, that's not her job though, but they get paid so much money because of that.
4,900%. Usually people like, our sales went up 150%. Mm-hmm. 4,000, 900% sign.
That's how I heard that.
$49 shoes, because them pink ones are a little pricey.
I heard that Shane Justin and Jisoo will pay Jada and Ari and Dream Doll $8,000 to post.
I always wondered, did they pay them?
Yes.
Only because I thought they were friends. And not that you don't pay your friends, but I just wonder what their barter system
Oh,
is.
yeah, they pay them because I'm sure that people literally buy it because they wear it. Because, they be when they do sales, I remember Greg, he posted his sales. He made $1 million in like 3 hours.
I'm not going to lie. Maybe because I'm old, but I didn't know his clothes was... So I remember when Cash Doll used to wear Shane Justin stuff a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that he had became grown to be this big designer because I never saw him on my timeline no more. Every now and then I see celebrities wearing his stuff, but because my timeline is watered down by Fashion Nova, I don't even be thinking that other designers be out there like that.
Shane Justin is a thing. Like
that's good.
And he has so many stores now, but. When I tell you people, they be selling, but him and his boyfriend, they both.
Now the Jisoo, is it Jisoo? What does that mean?
He explained it the other day. He said that his name is
Greg.
Greg.
Georgia State.
No, he said his name is Greg.
Okay.
And that his favorite color is red, so that's why he said Suwoo.
Okay, no, he's not allowed to do that.
And he was like, I'm not gang affiliated whatsoever. So don't think that, but he was on my favorite color.
Okay, but you saying Suwoo? What the freak?
Well, he said his nickname is Red because in Florida, if you like skin, they call you Red.
Suwoo and Red are not synonymous. So why would you? That's culture vulture. That's what is
culture appropriation.
Culture appropriation. Wait, you not a blood and you making money
No.
off the blood name?
Mm-hmm.
See, they don't. Social media.
His mama name on Instagram is Mama Suwoo.
Now they got to get blooded in. Cause what you mean?
His mama name is Mama Suwoo.
I would have not shared that. I would have said I just picked a bunch of letters off the scramble.
He was answering questions on his Instagram, and I think for me, because I personally, they do make some men's clothes, but for me, it's not for me. I don't really like it. It's very Boohoo Man-ish, and I'm not really. I actually shop on Boohoo Man sometimes, but. I don't know. It's not really my style. That's not really
Definitely
my thing.
not my style. But that's what I've seen.
But I really
stuff,
appreciate, just seeing not only a black business, but two black gay men that banking this much money. You know what I'm saying? That just have a business. So I definitely follow them and just
Did they
just
start their lines at the same time?
Or
were they independent, separate? Because I know they've been together for a long time.
Don't get me the line. I know that Shane Justin, if I'm not mistaken, he started off as a custom designer. Yeah. So he would make
he did
because he used to make stuff for Cardi B. That's how he got popping. Cash Doll, all these people, and then he started making just what is it called? Fast fashion. Now,
which is terrible for global stability, global warming. But anyway, carry on.
It is? Why is that?
Because of the pieces that they use, and because clothes are, clothes can't be recycled. You can only be reworn.
Yeah.
And so you can't destroy it. It doesn't burn away, so it just creates waste on the globe.
Never know.
Yep, Zara is the line leader of.
Yeah, and they also copy other people's designs. They make cheaper version of designer clothes.
Fashion Nova too, but that's not for real. That's some research for you. Y'all reading today, y'all be wanting to shop at the thrift store for every outfit.
Yeah, like I said on the previous episode, I still shop at the thrift store to this day. Previous episode, they don't know that, but yeah, I don't know if they came out with it at the same time though, but if I'm not mistaken, I feel like Shane was first.
Yeah, I heard of his first. I'm not mad at it. It makes me think about Brandon Blackwood, who's the black handbag designer.
Yeah, did you see his Stuff and Sweetie video?
Yeah, I did see that. Let me say something. I'm proud of him now. His prices have started creeping up now.
Yeah, I actually went on there this morning to pre-order me a bag. So I'm like, somebody asked me what I wanted for my birthday, and I'm like, you know what? I'll just send them the link.
I love his bags. I actually really.
How many you got?
3.
What color you got?
I got a red wax denim. It's like a tie-dye red and systemic racism bag. I got a pink mini quay, and then I have the 90s denim tote. I mean, not tote. The little box bag.
Okay. I think I want to get the fanny pack, but I do want the one that says "in systematic racism."
You're not making those anymore ever again. No, and it's systemic racism. That's 2 different words, 2 different meanings.
Drag me.
Dragged. But yeah, he said he's not making. He did the one that I ordered from was the last pre-order, and he literally said he's never making them again. I don't know the reasoning, but maybe he's just ready to move on to something else. Because he was doing, when he first got started, he was doing completely different. But he was doing like custom name bags and stuff like that, those furry fanny packs.
Yeah.
But anyway, what I was getting at is I think his daddy was a successful like vendor, or he had some kind of business. But anyway, Brandon Blackwood was basically saying that he got a lot of that from his dad, which is what helped him get his suppliers and stuff like that for his bag. So I think and this is not shade, but I think one of the difference between his bag and Telfar is 100% black made, black owned, black operated. And I think Brandon Blackwood might source from overseas for certain stuff. Not that matters to me, but I'm just saying.
Well, people do bring that up because a lot of people don't consider Rihanna's brands, all her brands, black owned because of that reason.
And I think because she's partial owner of it, she doesn't completely own it. Yeah, I mean, to me, it doesn't matter. But I think when you drill it down, I do give a little bit more respect to Telfar because it is 100% black. But anyway, that's all. But I love Brandon Blackwood bags because it's such a variety, so many different colors and styles. It's really cool. I love it.
It reminds me of Marc Jacobs. Like, it's literally the same style.
I think actually Marc Jacobs gave him some acknowledgement, or was it Michael Kors? Somebody recently shouted him out and just really admired the work he's doing.
Santana had posted it in a bag earlier. He gonna say, "Yeah, this is the new tea bag because all the tea girls wearing this bag."
Which one?
The Brandon Blackwood bag.
Oh my God! I actually really like the bags. They're nice bags. Don't get me wrong.
That really because a lot of people that are like big in fashion, they were reposting Santana's video. And honestly, I'm gonna say this because we get a lot of slack from people, especially from New York, because New York is like the fashion capital of the U.S. We get a lot of slack being in the South.
Slack? That's not a read. Slack is like, cut me some slack.
Drag again.
Oh my God,
so this episode is gonna be called Drag Draco.
Okay.
And no, I don't do drag.
Okay,
but no, we get a lot of flack. Is that the right word?
Yes.
Thank you. We get a lot of that from people from New York because they think that people in the South just genuinely don't have no style, whatever. But I would say that we have a lot of.
I believe a lot of people that move from New York move to the East Side, and if I saw that first, then I would think the same thing.
But even still, in general, like even on the internet, they just think that people in the South are just tacky as a whole. But I will say that. Atlanta, just speaking for Atlanta, I don't know about these other cities. We are very, very, people get really influenced by us. Like the way that down to hair and makeup, down to the outfits, the music, everything. So in my thing, I'm like, who lying? Because I don't want to talk about us, but now that literally, you get people from the South. Because I ain't gonna lie. People up north been wearing Telfar bags for years, and some people from the South start buying it, and it just started catching on so fast.
Yeah, I mean, everything starts here. I get it. I get it because, like you said, New York being the fashion capital of the U.S. and stuff like that. Like people kind of they take that with pride. All right, check. Okay, so Draco and I were having a tough time coming up with a subject for this week's episode, and I suggested that we tell some stories, right? Now I don't know which one Draco wants to share, but
you share yours, and then I
just want to tell y'all how I sued my neighbor. I don't think I ever talked about the story on the podcast. And I feel like, hey, why not take advantage of the opportunity to share with y'all? Okay. So basically, y'all, 5 years ago, I had a dog. Actually, the dog passed 5 years ago. So 5.5 years ago is when when this situation happened. So basically, y'all, I lived in these apartments called the Crossings in Marietta. Draco also used to live there. Not at the same time because he got evicted before I moved in.
All right. This is literally the Draco episode.
But basically, I had a dog. I had a puggle. Her name was Sandy. And my apartments had gotten new management. So they started to do little stuff around the neighborhood to make it nicer. And one of those additions included a dog park. Now, literally 24 hours or so into the dog park existing, I took my dog to the dog park to relieve herself. And this was a huge dog park now that I think about it. Because the one that I got in my neighborhood, they got one for the small ones, one for the big ones. And it's not that big. Anyway, y'all, so basically I walk up to the dog park fence, the door to open. And before I could open, I saw that there was a goddamn Rottweiler in that bitch. And so Unfortunately, me literally lightly tapping the hook to open the fence was enough for this lady's Rottweiler to open the fence itself and attack my dog. Like literally attacked her right outside the entrance of the dog park. I'm screaming, I'm yelling, blah, 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 blah. This is what's going on. And then the lady finally gets her dog off of my dog. And the heifer, the owner, was like, she fine, in reference to my dog. No, boo, my dog just got darn near slaughtered by your illegal breed. Because you know you ain't supposed to have no goddamn Rottweilers.
Oh my god.
Anyway, so when after it happened, y'all, my dog was obviously hurt, but she went to the bathroom and carried on by her day as if that junk didn't happen. While I'm over here startled.
Yeah.
Sandy was literally like, "What you finna feed me?" I'm like, "Ma'am, your back is open."
It was.
I mean, you couldn't tell, but you could see the blood through her fur for sure.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I couldn't see the gashes that bad until I took her to the vet. So I had to call my boyfriend at the time and tell him what happened. And so I had to call out from work or whatever the case is. I took her to the hospital down the street. I took her to VCA Marietta off is it Powers Ferry? I don't know, honey. It don't even matter. Y'all, they shaved the hair from around the bites. Y'all, my dog had slight. I mean, have you ever seen some fabric get cut by accident and make like an L shape? Her back had them kind of like 6 or 7 different like gashes like that.
Oh no.
It was so bad. Oh my gosh, y'all. It was bad. And I don't want to make it a bad picture, but I had to take a picture of it and stuff because at this point I don't know this lady. I don't know where she lives. I never saw her before. I know she's in my apartments, but I don't know what unit. And at this point we have an issue that needs to get addressed. And so I took these pictures. I wrote up a long letter, emailed it to the rent office, and then they replied the next day like, "Oh my god." Didn't reply. Actually, they didn't even reply for like a week or so. And I followed up, and then suddenly they want to reply telling me the reason why they hadn't responded is because they had to research dog parks. Now, y'all just installed this goddamn dog park. And y'all, and I get it. Y'all probably even realize what y'all was getting yourself into. And honestly, the leasing office, I won't even hold them to that because it probably wasn't even their idea. It probably was the management company to put this dog park in this community. And it's up to them. Because they probably, this type of stuff, I don't even know how common it is. Because there are several dog parks where dogs just play in harmony. But probably not with no goddamn Rottweilers. Okay, so anyway. So while I'm waiting for a response from the rent office, me and my ex, we see this heifer with her goddamn dog, Cha-Cha, okay?
Oh my god.
That was the name of the dog. That dog, Cha-Cha, like the chow chow on other people's dogs. Anyway, so we approached her, and she had an already her story ready clearly. She was like, "You came." She basically tried to say that I came into the dog park screaming and hollering. Now, why would I do that? She basically saying that I came into the dog park screaming and hollering, which startled her dog and caused her dog to bite my dog. Now, why would I go into dog park screaming? Why? Why? Nothing had even happened there, if that's the case. Because that means that I would have just been screaming for no reason, which caused my dog to get attacked. Anyway, so finally I get some my rent office manager. He sets up some time to meet with this heifer. I mean, this lady, sorry. And sorry, I get it confused sometimes, synonymous with her. But basically, y'all, she was this whole sob story about how this was my fault because I started her dog and she ain't got no control over what her dog does and she ain't got that much money. So she on a set income, so she can't pay me no. And at this point, my doctor bill was only like $350. Not only because that's money that I didn't intend on paying or had no idea I was gonna have to pay, but I had to pay $350 for my dog to get X-rays and stitches and stuff like that. And I just wanted my money back. That's all I wanted, reimbursed because my dog is clearly okay. She tested negative for rabies and stuff like that. So can we just get my money back so we can move on? I really should be charging you for my labor that I'm missing from work, but that's neither here nor there. So basically her stance was no, I ain't got the money. And then on top of that, y'all, to have a dog in this neighborhood, you had to like pay a dog fee. Thank God I had my dog the legal way. Yeah. Because some people do not be paying that dog fee. But I paid the little $300 dog fee, so it was on record that I had a dog. But this lady did not. And on top of that, her dog is not an allowed breed. Rottweilers are usually not allowed in apartments because they're considered aggressive breeds. Yeah. So then that happened. So they had to get rid of her dog. Oh well, boo-hoo. Piss in the pot. Okay. So now that we've established, and even in our little mediation, he was like, okay, now if you don't agree to pay her, she has a right to sue you. And boo-boo, I had already been ready to do that anyway. And she was like, well, I mean, you're going to have to because I don't have the money. Okay, cool. So I was, at this point, all I know, and I just want my money back. I'm livid because this is my baby. Sandy was my baby, y'all. Yeah. That was my child. And so I don't like the idea of suing, but you know how black folks be. As soon as something happens, you finna get paid. So I can't believe that me, Alicia Arnold, has a chance to sue somebody. I can sue. Say less. So I went on back to my apartment, me and Sandy Wendy. And I went on to Cobb County Magistrate Court, filed a civil lawsuit for this dog. It cost me like $52, and I was suing her for I think the total amount, which was I probably rounded it up to $1,000. I think is what I did. And only because I think that the leasing manager even said like, okay, but if she sues you, she could sue you for more, which is funny because he confirmed that with me, but that wasn't even his place to even say that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I sued her for $1,000. Okay. So now within about 48 hours of me filing this lawsuit, y'all, I got this certified letter in the mail. It was in a manila envelope, not manila. It was like one of those orange or envelopes with the little gold fix on there. So it was basically from this TV show called Hot Bench. And I'm like, I know you are lying to me. Oh my God. So before I filed my lawsuit, I reached out to my attorney friend and I was asking her, like, do I have a case? Like, you know what I'm saying? She was like, yeah, I would definitely file a lawsuit. Okay, cool. I sent her a picture of these paperwork from this TV show and we was gagging. Okay.
What?
Actually, it was Rita who was on our show. She was, that's my lawyer friend. But anyway, so basically these people were like, hey, we saw your, cause when you file a lawsuit, these type of records are public, so anybody can go in and see it, which was news to me because I didn't know that you could see it before the case even started. But they basically saw it and felt like this was good content for their show, and I paid it. I was like, nope, not doing that. And by pay, I mean ignore, y'all. Sorry, I got in my LGBTQ bag.
Oh God! At this point, straight men know that.
Said it, yeah, right. So basically, I was like, nah, I'm not going for it. And so they called me, and they kept calling me. They was like, hey, I know you just got this letter because I had to sign for it, certified mail. You got this letter about 5 minutes ago. And let me tell you why you need to do it. They was like, listen, if you sue this lady in your local court and you win, they can't make her pay you. You will have to sue her again to garnish her wages. And even then you need her bank account information. You need her payroll information, which is all true. If anybody who's listening right now, suing somebody is easy. And when I see headlines, this company getting sued, I'm like, they must don't know how easy it is to file a lawsuit. Yeah. You can have no basis, no nothing. You can be like, I'm about to sue the tree in the middle of my parking lot for pain and suffering. Okay, sure. It's not illegal to file that lawsuit. And now it's headlines that trees out here getting sued, so stop buying trees. So just so y'all know, when y'all see these big companies getting sued, don't think nothing of it until that case settles out and somebody say something, because that's really the only thing. So, and even when they settle out, it don't really admit guilt either, because sometimes it's cheaper to just give somebody a check and get them out your face. But anyway, in this particular case, they basically was like, listen, you're not guaranteed to get your money if you go to your local court, but if you come on our show and you win, we will pay you. You guaranteed your money, you'll get your paid and all that good stuff. And I'm like, oh.
Oh, so she didn't have to pay.
She didn't pay me a goddamn thing.
Oh, wow.
So they basically was like, now.
So it was like a game show.
Basically. And this is the thing. They was like, if you agree to go, we'll proceed, but she has to also agree to go in order for us to do this. And they did it. And they called. And it's so funny because if you see this lady, you wouldn't think this lady will hop. And first of all, y'all, this is in LA. They was like, we'll send you out, you and your witnesses out to LA for 3 days round trip, everything paid for. We'll give you per diems for your food, for your travel, for your everything. And so in my mind, I get a free trip, me and my man at the time and my dog. And whether I lose or win, I'm getting paid. Say less. And my God, this is real. This is I really sued this lady. Okay. So obviously the lady agreed to go, according to, obviously I saw her in LA. Well, I also saw her in Hartsfield, but that's neither here nor there. And so anyway, y'all, the next day after I agreed to go on Hot Bench, I got contacted by another show, another freaking show. And I can't lie, I don't remember the name of it. And I wish that they would have contacted me on the same day so I could compare my options. But I think Hot Bench was the bigger show anyway. It still comes on. But yeah, so I was like, hey, sorry, I actually already committed to this TV show. And within 3 days, y'all, I was in LA. Can you believe that?
Oh, it was that fast?
Yes, it was that fast. And I love my job so much because let me tell you something. My managers I was like, look, y'all, this what happened. They were like, you better go. They was supporting me. My job was supporting me, y'all. So but basically, okay, so let me backtrack a little bit. So, okay, number one, we get to the airport, we see this lady. Now, we was not on the same flight, but we definitely had the same, they probably had put her on a different airline or something because we was on the same, we was both on Concourse T. And I remember because it's the same one I used to work on in college. But y'all, we flew United, which had a layover in Houston, then to LA. But there was a storm somewhere in between Atlanta and Houston.
Houston, yeah.
And so our flight kept getting delayed, and then ultimately it got to the point where it was like, listen, this pilot coming on his last flight, he don't have to take y'all, basically. He's already maxed out in his 16 hours. So if he doesn't agree to take y'all to y'all next destination, then we gotta cancel the flight. So that's what ended up happening. They ended up canceling the flight. So as a benefit of the canceling the flight, they gave us $1,000 flight credit. And they gave us a hotel. But I think my producer ended up giving me a hotel. That's what it was. I think it was like either get a hotel or get $500 flight credit. That's what it was. But our producer, because they flew us out, they gave us a hotel, which is so crazy because it ended up being so late in the night, y'all, that we was in the hotel for like 30 minutes, and then we had the next flight coming out that next morning. Oh my god! So anyway, so that's one day lost in LA. We lost that day, and that's why I'm scarred from layovers because of that. So anyways, we finally get to LA. We had this very nice hotel. I think we was at like the W in Pasadena or something like that. Okay. It was a nice hotel, very nice. It might not have been the W, but it was definitely that girl. But yeah, so we which is weird because we actually court was actually in Hollywood, but they had us stand in Pasadena, which was interesting. But anyway. Yeah. They get us a taxi cab. We make it to the courthouse, y'all. I mean, and it's not a real courthouse, but it is like a legit courtroom, I guess you could say. But we legit are in a studio, a film studio. Like it's a studio that we had when we first got there. They greeted us at the back door, like, "Hey, you here for this, such and such? Okay, go to like how they had a green room where the sexy decoy be at. We had the green room where they were micing up. They mic'd us up. They did my makeup. They asked me to restate my story, what happened, because this was very real. I didn't lie about a thing. I swear to God on everything I love. When we get mic'd up, we go into the courtroom stage, quote unquote. There's an audience of people, just like the people y'all see on the audience on court TV shows. And I mean, it looked like a courtroom. If you would have blindfolded me and dropped me off, I was down there at Fulton County. It looked just like that. And literally, y'all, we was in front of the judge for maybe 20 minutes. That was the whole episode. 20 minutes. Yeah, it was very simple. I think they had me walk out twice with Sandy. I think the first time they had me walk out by myself, but they wanted to add that real emotional reaction, so they had me go get Sandy and then walk out with her. Hold it. And I was with my ex-boyfriend who literally got a cameo. He actually spoke in front of the judge and they did not air it. But yeah, I mean, I told what happened. I gave the judge, I stay with receipts, baby. I had my paperwork printed. I had the pictures in full HD. I had everything I needed. And that was it. They ruled in my favor. They did not give me the $1,000 technically. So this is what happened. I asked for $1,000, and my whole point of that was because if I'm filing a lawsuit, I'm not finna just get my money you owe me. Yeah. And I tried to claim pain and suffering, but they told me I couldn't claim that on behalf of my dog, which hurt my feelings a little bit. But I should have included my lost wages. That's what I should have done in my job. I didn't think about that, but it happened so fast, so freaking fast. And so, yeah, so basically I was granted like the $385 for my stitches for the dog. But then I got like $1,000 for showing up. And then I got my per diem, which I didn't even spend, which was like another $500 that I got. Oh. Exactly. You get what I'm saying? And now the case is settled. And so now they did not give me my settlement there in person. They did mail that to me. The only money I got while I was there was my appearance fee and my per diem for travel. But basically, yeah, that's what happened. So we went to court, ended at 20 minutes. Went to LA for 3 days, 20 minutes. And we went back to the hotel and flew out the next day. Period. Yeah, and so I think I got the check like within 90 days, and it was just the remaining balance. It was at that point I don't already recoup my funds anyway. And it took like maybe 4 or 5 months for that episode to air, and one of my coworkers was able to screen record it for me, so I do have the episode on my phone for life. Yeah, and we also have the screen caps from the video because the picture from that is I actually need it for your call. What? When I was on the oath? Oh my God. I promise you, I say every time I think of somebody doing this, I'll be like, I'm gonna tell a lie on the oath. Every time. I ain't tell now I'm lying. And it's so funny. I remember when I did the post court interview, you know how they interview like the people. I was like, wow, I'm really in front of the camera doing a little commentary. I would have been like, yeah. Do you know what? I couldn't even think straight. It was like, what do you think about that? Because in the case, y'all, she tried to tell the judge, not even try, she told the judge that the alleged bites on my dog's back was from a BB gun that I shot my dog with. Okay. I'm like, now, if they didn't tell me. They probably told her to say that. That's what I said. Because I'm like, I didn't lie. They didn't even ask me to lie. But for her to say that, but my thing is, she was in denial about it happening from the beginning, from the jump. And so I feel like when the producers called her to get her side of the story before we even flew out, I feel like she might have was like, they were like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a good one. Because y'all clearly see my evidence. Bruh. That's what she said. And I get so mad because one day I went to the YouTube comments for the episode and I'm like, oh, y'all don't, they was taking her side. Some people was like, well, what do you expect when you come? I'm like, I did not come in that dog park hysterical. I was like, no, I'm not about to argue with these folks. I see how it feel to be a celebrity. They say don't read the comments. This what they mean. But yes, y'all. So anyway, yeah, we go back home to reality. That's really what it was. And it was just so funny at work, y'all. When my episode aired, my managers put this prank on me where they wouldn't let me come into the back where like our break room and stuff is at. So they finally let me come in and they open all the computers. And why do they put a wallpaper of me with my hands on the Bible as the wallpaper on all the work computers? That joke was so freaking funny. But they was so supportive. I miss working there sometimes, man, because it was just so fun. But it was just such a. But what's crazy is I think that when I tell people I went on Court TV, I think they think that it was like some big ratchet fiasco, but to me, it was always very serious about my baby. It was, I know I'm that type of person who would cut up, but I was not cutting up by Sandy. I was cutting up, but not in a way as a means of entertainment. Yeah. But yeah, and I want y'all to know them people who go in there really do file lawsuits. It's real. They not strangers. The only people that's strangers is the audience members because they literally was paid to be there. But yeah, that's how I sued my neighbor and end up on TV.
And you a star.
Period.
I was on TV once.
I was on TV a couple times. Right. Oh yeah, you was on that movie.
No, I was on Growing Up Hip Hop, that one episode with Masika. And that is just.
First of all, what an episode to be
that was literally 3 seconds, and people literally remember me from that. I get sent that to this day. So I don't have a story where I sued somebody, but I do get asked a lot, like how I became a freelance makeup artist, or like what was my moment where I knew like, okay, this is like finna be life changing. Yeah. So what my story is a little different from people's, because most of the time when people first start doing makeup, they literally start off at MAC. Like if you ever worked at MAC, that's usually like your first job as a makeup artist. Mm-hmm. See, mine wasn't. My story didn't go like that. I worked at 2 salons before I worked at MAC. So I worked at Glam Bar and I worked at Salon Ramsey, which was like 2 of the top salons in Atlanta. The only reason why I even wanted to work at MAC was for the discount, and 2, because I literally am self-taught. So all my clients used to look the same. So I felt like I just needed, I'm like, I need a little bit more training, and there isn't a school that you can go to that'll teach you how to do makeup. Like, there probably is some now, because now makeup.
I never thought about that. You can't go to school to be a makeup artist, but you can go to school to be a hairstylist. And then people that go to school to be a hairstylist, they don't teach like braids and stuff. No. That's crazy.
The reason why you have to go to school to do hair is because of the chemicals. So they have to use like hair color, they have to use relaxer, they have to learn how to use hot tools. So these are things that could possibly harm somebody if they don't handle it the right way. With makeup, you can just wash it off. Yeah. The only thing that could happen is if you have an allergic reaction to the makeup, or if somebody has dirty tools. So, and it's a lot of, no shade, I support black business, but it's a lot of unlicensed nail techs out here. A lot. Yeah, actually, probably all of them. Because I just going off, and I'm not mad at Get It How You Live, but I do worry about that accountability. If something goes wrong, you might end up on Court TV. Yeah. Oh God. But no, it took me 3 times to work at MAC. MAC was one of the hardest jobs to get. They are very picky about who they choose, and I think I went in there a little too confident, because I'm like, oh, MAC loves like unique people. So I have a lot of tattoos, I have piercings. I'm like, I have to wear all black. So I'm of course dress real nice, and they still ain't pick me. And so it took me to go in the store and apply. Like I went into a MAC store, because they have a hiring fair every year. So I went to hiring fair twice, didn't get picked. So I went in a store and applied, and I got an interview, had to bring in a model, whatever. So I ended up working at MAC for about 4.5 years before I started to dislike it.
Well, I would say bad, 4. Actually. That's what happened with me with my retail job.
Yeah. So I want to say like 4 years in it, I'm just like, honestly, this is not fun no more. Like when I first started working at MAC, it was just like the job to have. You worked at MAC, you was that bitch. Like you just was that bitch. And I remember it was like literal like
Do you think it's still like that for people?
No. Okay. No, it's not the same. MAC is actually like one of the low brands now. Like people don't shop there no more. It's really weird. I still do, because I think the products for professional makeup artists is still quality, but and a lot of brands don't even think to carry some of the stuff they carry, which is dumb.
And
but
now so many people can just come out with a makeup line.
Oh yeah, and I think that more so now people are more so tied to makeup brands that's tied to celebrities or like pop culture or something. So like Kylie, Rihanna, Jeffree Star, unfortunately.
You got out right in time then.
Yeah, no, I did. So I used to just sit at the counter because I used to get moved around a lot. So I've worked at Stonecrest, I've worked at Southlake, I've worked at Town Center one time, I worked at Cumberland one time.
Gang, gang.
I worked at Atlantic Station for a month. I worked at the Macy's location in Lenox. I worked at the Perimeter location, Macy's. I worked at the Perimeter location store. And then they put me in Bloomingdale's, okay? So I've worked at Bloomingdale's before, but the staff made the job fun. So Mac was also one of those jobs where it was so easy to get fired because you had to make a sales goal and you get written up for not making your sales goal for the month.
I don't admit, when I worked for, I'm not going to say, when I worked for this luxury store, it was like that about like credit card signups and emails. And I never like selling to people that kind of stuff.
Yeah. They did that too. So we would have to at least have 5 people sign up for like Bloomingdale's cards. And I'm like, girl, I already got to sell them all this stuff. Now I got to send them a card. But yeah, like you would literally get written up for not meeting your requirements for your sales goal for the month, and you get 3. Once you get 3, you're out. If you 1 minute late, you get written up.
Oh, I not misread stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm grown. Okay, now I get it when you run in retail operations because you have store hours.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I'm in a work environment now where I can even be late to a meeting by 1 minute and it's not that deep.
Yeah, like it was so bad, so it just started to not get fun, and then like. Part of the job that we loved was every time a collection came out, we would get gratis. So we would get like pieces from the collection. They stopped doing it. They would give us like 2 things from it. It would be the part of the collection that we didn't want, like an ugly lip gloss and a lipstick that we would never use.
That's lame.
They started trying to make me wear makeup after a while. So Mac, when you work for Mac, you have to wear whatever new collection is out. That's why they give it to us. They give us the product. But I'm like, y'all not even giving people the full collection.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, I don't wear makeup. You can't force me to wear it. Like I don't wear it. But they were saying like I needed to wear at least a highlighter, put the lip gloss
How long
on.
was it before they started saying that?
When I worked at Bloomingdale's, it's just because we didn't get a lot of sales at Bloomingdale's because people didn't think to come in there.
Yeah, I mean, look at where it's at, and it's literally a whole nother one down the hall.
That looks fun. Like it had lights and music. Mm-hmm. See, we were in there with like older people, so it was like a mess. So I would just be sitting it like y'all don't understand. That was the most boring job after a while. Like I would be at the register. I would open, and we'll open at like 9 and I wouldn't get my first customer until 1:00.
Oh, God.
So I would have to stand at the counter that long time before I even have a customer. And keep in mind, I have a sales goal. But if it's below counter average, I won't get written up. So that was the good thing about Bloomingdale's. Like you never really got written up for your sales goals because the counter was at low.
Yeah, okay, good.
So it wasn't really, too much. But people was getting written up for being late. One of my coworkers got written up for reading emails she wasn't supposed to read. Got written up for, it was just too much. Like it was a lot of stuff going on. So I ended up asking for more hours because I needed more money. That was one of the main reasons why I didn't want to work there. I'm like, this is so bad. This is why I be kind of pissed off at people who complain about people making $15 an hour, because I was making $17 an hour. And I couldn't afford to live on my own.
Yeah, because you weren't full time, right?
I wasn't full time, but I would still work 30 hours.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, like I wasn't like hired on as a full time artist, but I would do like a minimum because I couldn't work over 30 hours because I wasn't a full time artist.
I had a particular job where I could I could get 40 hours for like 12 weeks in a row, but on that 13th week I needed to do at least 1 hour less because by law they'll be forced to make you full time. I think that happened under Obamacare. I think because they have to give you insurance and all that. So they would run up the hours and then be like, all right, this week you need to take some time off.
Yeah, and that was the thing with me too. They would have to give me insurance, and But the good thing about it is, even though I wasn't full time, I still got paid time off. Like I still got like PTO and paid vacation. Like they used to force us to take vacation because we never would take it. So they would be like, okay, if you didn't choose your vacation, you're gonna be off this week. You still gonna get paid. I ain't like that because I'm like, girl, I ain't going nowhere yet. Hold on.
I like that the job. I mean, not encourage you because it's not they forced it, but just to make sure you do take that time off though.
Yeah,
it's necessary.
But I remember like I just used to be the kind of just like wishing and hoping and praying that I could just find another way out. And during that time too, the last year and a half of me working there, I started doing like some reality shows on the side. So sometimes I wouldn't even go to work because I'm like, I'll make more money on set. Yeah. So I wouldn't go to work, and then I would go after work. I would go to the strip club to make more money just so I could do what I need to do.
Oh, so you was dancing and doing makeup. Cause that would it sound like you just said.
I was doing makeup at the strip club after work.
Oh, my bad, Stevie.
So yeah, I actually worked in the strip club locker room doing makeup for, it wasn't consecutive, but it was a total of like 4 years because I worked at 3 different clubs. But I would stop working there and then I wouldn't go to another club for like a couple months, and I found another club to work at when I needed money. So I didn't even want to do that. That was tiring in itself. Like I would have to do a whole shift on my feet at Mac, then drive to the club, and I would get to the club at like 9 o'clock, and I would stay there till 2 a.m. and just to make money. And so,
nobody should have to do all that. I don't miss that. You know, when I was working all these crazy hours in multiple jobs, it was fun because I felt like I was hustling.
It wasn't fun for me.
Now that I'm at a point where I don't have to do that, I'm like, nobody should have to do that.
No.
Like, at all.
The strip club used to be fun when I was freelancing and doing it, but me working a regular job and then going after work, that was tiring. And it was just a lot. Like, So I ended up getting an offer to work on this reality show with Escape on E. So I was like, okay, cool. Tiny's makeup artist was on maternity leave. She needed a new makeup artist, and Tiny's assistant was using me as her makeup artist. So she's like, try my makeup artist out. So I did it. She loved it. She was like, okay. So then for when we were doing the show, Latasha from Escape, she was like, they was like, oh, why don't you use him? Well, she was like, try him out. So I did her makeup and she loved it. So then before the show was over with, they were saying that they were going on a tour. So in my head, I'm like, okay, that's fine. Like that's so nice y'all going on the tour, in my head. So Tiny was like, we don't got no makeup artist for the tour. You think you want to go on the tour with us? I'm like, sure.
So wait, you got this opportunity because somebody had a baby?
Yes.
That's fire.
Like literally somebody was on maternity leave and they was like, maybe you should try him. So I was like, so she brought it up, but in my head, I'm like, girl, I ain't never been on no, like okay, this is what I was thinking. She asked me and I said, first of all, she's not for real. Second of all, I ain't never did no work like that before, so I don't even know what to do. And then I have a job. So in my head, I'm like, I didn't want to leave my job and then it wasn't giving what it was supposed to give. So I'm like, they're not going to be for real about this. Yeah. And so Tamika asked me to do her makeup. So yeah. Okay. So now this is 3 Escape members who I've touched. So she asked me to do her makeup, and she was like, you should go on tour with us. And I'm like,
dang, imagine just
this is the second person.
Imagine being a person that could just give out opportunities like that. Come on tour with us. Oh
yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I was like, okay. I'm like, maybe they for real, but we're gonna see. So I got a call one day, like I was at work and I had got a call, took a call in the back, and it was Tamika Scott. She called me. She was like, this Draco? I was like, yes. And she was like, hey, this Tamika. I was like, hey, what's going on? She was like, so we're having a meeting right now. We're trying to get the stuff together for the tour. And my heart dropped because I'm like, what the fuck? They for real? So then she was like, we just want to know that if you are really serious about going on tour with us. I'm like, if y'all want me to, I will go. I'm like, what do you mean? So they was like, okay, we just want to make sure before we put you down, and we're gonna contact you later about everything else. We'll have a meeting so you can know like the how much you're gonna get paid and blah blah blah. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I hung up the phone. I'm like, bro, like what the fuck is happening? So in my head, I've never gone on a tour before. I've never done anything like that. So I hit up people who I know did that. And of course, just like crabs in a bucket, they didn't want to tell me.
Oh my God.
All I had to ask was like, hey, so I got an offer to go on tour. How much you think I should pay or get paid? And they're like, I mean, how much you think you worth? How much
Oh
you do?
my
You know,
God.
they weren't giving me like real
I hate
answers.
that. Like, okay, first of all, not that you need them to congratulate you, but
Yeah.
I expect more because this is obviously huge.
This has been happening to me since I started doing makeup. I don't know what it is about me, but when I first started doing makeup, I was very curious. And I never asked people to put me on. Like, that never been my personality. Like, oh, put me on, put me on.
Yeah.
I literally would genuinely go up to artists and just be like, hey, I don't want you to put me on or nothing, but I genuinely don't know about this and that. And if, you know, even if you don't have room for me to be a mentor, just give me advice on what I should do or what direction. And they would never give it to me. They would tell me I would be too young. I didn't know what I was talking about. They would laugh it off like I was joking or whatever. Like, it was just that. So I've always dealt with that. So I wasn't whatever. So I just went home. I started to Google like how much people makeup artists on tour. And this was an arena tour, okay? So this wasn't like nowadays,
what they call it, the Chitlin
circuit. I wouldn't even call it that, but a lot of the concerts that I attend, even from like major artists, they usually have it at smaller venues like Tabernacle, for instance, but places like that.
Their return was huge.
Like, in my head, I'm like, this is an arena tour. This isn't like the concerts that I've been going to at the Buckhead Theater or the Fox Theater. You know, even though Fox Theater is big, but it's not as big as Phillips Arena.
Right.
So, or State Farm Arena.
I know exactly what you mean.
So I'm like, I don't know. So I'm Googling it. I'm not finding answers. So I literally just was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I have to quit my job for this. So what I'm going to do is multiply how much my rent costs, my car note costs, and my bills cost. Because I had a roommate at the time, my portion of the bills. And I need to at least make 3 times that amount so that way I can cover my bills for 3 months after I come home. And then during that time, I'll be able to find another job or either go back to Mac. Because I did do the 2-week notice. So I was able to go back to Mac if I wanted to. I was like, whatever I need to do, I'm just going to do that. So I calculated up. I came up with a number. I said, okay, cool. This is what we're going to do. So they ended up calling me. And they was like, all right, so we got, you know, this is what we got going on. Da, da, da. They told me the price. They told me what I would be getting paid weekly. And it was about 12 times the amount that I came up with.
Oh, jeez. Hallelujah.
I was like, so when they said that, I immediately was like, yes, I'm going to take it. And now that I look back, I should have asked for more.
What? But I feel you though. You know, but that was, see, that's how I look at when I first got my first corporate job. Because it was a lot more than I was making, but it was not what I should have asked for. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, so I'm like, dang, I was looking back, I'm like, I was getting paid that. And that was a lot of money for me.
By the way, for you to be, if it was 12 times, like, dang.
No, Alicia, my mouth was open. Like, when I hung up the phone, I said, I'm finna quit. Dang. Like, that was the first thing in my mind. I'm like, I'm finna quit. I promise you, I'm not exaggerating. It had to be like 12 times. I said,
that's fine.
Oh, really? Like,
that's fine. And
it was because my rent was cheap. At the time, I was roommating, and my rent was $650. So I'm paying half of that.
Yeah.
Which is like $325. Yeah. So I'm like, oh my God. Like, I was just shook at the amount. So I'm like, oh yeah, this is happening. And so this was supposed to be a 10-week tour because Candy had to go to Broadway. So they were only able to tour for like 10 weeks. So we started Thanksgiving and we ended like the first week of February or something like that. So after that, I quit. I put in my 2 weeks, and my manager, she was so happy. You know, they didn't want to lose me because I was like one of the people who made the most money at the counter. So
at Bloomingdale,
yeah, because I used to. I mean, first of all, I was the only boy there.
My bad, you right.
And then I was like very enthusiastic about my job. Like I mean, even though I hated working at Bloomingdale's, I just love my job, and I love and I knew at the end of the day I had to make money. I had to keep my job, so I have to act like I want to be there and be able to sell these products and just not give people anything. Because the problem was at Mac, and I ain't trying to throw nobody on the bus, but at Mac, they definitely they make you buy all this stuff. Sometimes, like, it depends on the person. They'll make you buy this stuff that you're not going to use. And what happens is people come back and return it. And that return is going to fuck up your
sales.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm not going to give people stuff that they don't need.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the best kind of salesperson because people get buyer's remorse sometimes as soon as they swipe their card.
Yeah, same sometimes. But yeah, so then from that moment, you know, I just was like, okay, I'm gonna save this money. I'm not gonna spend. So every time we got paid, I would just dump it in my account, and I would literally just spend my per diem. And see, everybody on tour with me, they were young, so nobody for real has made that much money ever.
Yeah. And
then to have a per diem on top of that, these folks was eating Roof Chris. They was eating all stuff. So see me, I wasn't doing it. I was like, that's cool, maybe once in a while, but I don't really eat Roof Chris like that anyway. So y'all can have that. I'll go get me some whatever.
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, I was eating whatever. I'm like, I don't. But yeah, like I got off that tour. Candy went on to do Broadway, and Escape literally sold out all 31 dates.
That's fine.
It was a good learning experience for me because I never did anything like that. So the first week I had a panic attack really bad, and I was like ready to go home. Like I was crying and everything. It was so bad because it was just too fast paced. Like I'm so used to just regular jobs, and to have to actually. And I'm also a person that requires a lot of alone time. So not only am I doing this for the first time, but it's a tour bus involved, so I have to sleep on the bus with so many people. Then we get off the bus, like we have a hotel room, but we're not able to really do too much in it but shower, wash your makeup brushes. You have to get food during that time because you don't know when you're going to eat. You have to change your clothes, and you know, of course, you got this big ass suitcase with like a month and a half worth of clothes. You got to dig through it, and then you got to pack it back up, then pack your makeup back up.
Using vacuum bags.
Yeah, like, it was a lot for me because I just never did that. So just imagine me having to pack that bag, then reorganize my makeup kit, wash my brushes, load it back on the bus. So I'm carrying all this stuff off the bus, back on the bus. Off the bus, back on the bus, off the bus, back on the bus. And then the makeup kit, I'm carrying it inside of the arena. I need to be in there a certain time. I have to be fully energized. I have to have a smile on my face no matter what everybody else's energy is. I have to bring that because I don't want that to rub off on them and they feel like I don't want to be there or, you know, they're giving them bad vibes where they have a show, whatever the case may be. And it was like times where like Tiny she don't want to sit in a chair until it's showtime. So Tasha loved getting her makeup done. So she would sit down like 2 hours before the show. So I would have time to take time to do her makeup. Tiny would sit there 20 minutes before showtime.
Listen.
And I'm like, man.
I don't have my makeup done before. I don't have my makeup done before.
And she want glitter. They wanted glitter and like everything, but I really loved it. Like I cannot wait to go on another tour, and it won't be as bad because of course I'm sure I'll be dealing with one person.
Yeah, and
but
COVID.
Just in COVID.
I mean, I think people are kicking back up tours now. So
yeah, you just got to have your vaccine card. Can't even go inside.
Oh, are they actually checking for that?
They about to announce what they're gonna do after May 17th, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, good. I'm ready to go to a show, so because I know people that went to this Mike Epps show recently at the State Farm Arena, and I mean they might have had like 100 seats occupied. I'm like, this can't be what they wanted for this tour.
Yeah. So I think you gotta be. They trying to because like after May 17th they're gonna announce. I know they're gonna announce like countries that are gonna allow fully vaccinated people to go to visit, and then
doing that anyway.
Exactly, but not only that, just for concerts and tours and festivals, they're like coming up with different methods. I know like at the festivals they're doing like those boxes, so that's why the tickets are higher because you literally have like a box with 6 people in it.
I like that though.
Yeah, so I like that better anyway. Even if it wasn't for COVID, because I hate going to festivals and bumping into people. People smoke cigarettes because it be outside. It be too much. Now the one music Midtown when we went for Travis Scott, now that was fun.
Though. Yeah, you know what though? It was the crowd.
Yeah, that was so fun.
Yeah, it was very fun. I liked it, and the stages were like this ain't got nothing to do with race, none of that. But one music fest. First time I went, it was at that park, Old Fourth Ward Park, and it had a lot of hills.
Yeah.
And so in between different acts, you get darn tired. But I would say Music Midtown because Piedmont Park is so flat, it's not that much of a hassle to go from stage to stage. Yeah. At least from the short time that we was there.
Yeah.
And then I went to one music fest at Centennial, which was a lot better. So I guess it just depends on the venue. Really, that's what I really should have just said.
But I had fun there. But yeah, let me take that back. I was about to say I never really like worked the festival, but after the tour was over with, they got such a big response from that tour that they just continued on as a trio.
Yeah.
So they decided, because Candy didn't really, even if she didn't go on Broadway, she didn't really want to do the
Candy,
festivals.
The line leader want what she want.
Yeah.
She want, okay.
She didn't really want to do the festivals because she felt like they were a bigger group than that to be doing those type of festivals. She wasn't looking at the money aspect because, of course, she like, baby, I don't need that.
Yeah.
She was looking more so at like world tours.
Yeah.
So like going overseas and stuff like that, which I can get. I'm a tourist, so I understand that.
I get it too, but y'all are, no shade, but y'all are from the 90s. You know what I'm saying? And they had a huge comeback. Don't get me wrong, because that's my favorite girl group besides Destiny's Child. Sorry, Beyonce. But I feel like they had so much hype around returning. The festival could have been fire.
They still did them. So we did. Okay. So the tour went from a 2-month tour, because keep in mind, I kept saying like, I don't know what I'm going to do once it's over. Maybe I'll go back to freelancing or whatever. But even still, with me making more money, I was just still kind of like, what am I gonna do? Like, am I gonna go to sleep?
Stop working your job because of Escape?
Yeah,
that's fine.
This is the reason why I was standing so hard. Like, I'm definitely rep Escape, because Escape is the reason why I quit my job.
That's fine.
So
go ahead. My bad.
We ended up going on, like, the tour turned into like a 7-month tour. So it went from 2 months to 7 months because they did festivals. So I started making even more money. Now this tour, the festival tour, the rate went up because I'm doing 3 people. Because for the arena tour I was doing 2. So I'm making even more money on top of that. I'm like, oh God, like it wasn't, I won't say overwhelming, but just imagine going from like making, sometimes your check per week was like $300.
Yeah.
You going from that to literally making like thousands of dollars a week overnight.
Oh, Jesus.
That's like really, and I always tell people, I'm like, honestly, it really takes, because people always ask me like, how did you get started? How did you do this? Da, da, da. It literally takes one client to change your life.
Clearly, that's fine. You was literally working a W-2 job until Escape came back.
There we go.
Like, to really think about that is so crazy. And now look at what you done did since then.
That's what I'm saying. And I promise y'all, ever since I did that tour and I moved on from it, I literally had back-to-back jobs that paid it just went up and up from there.
That's
like even from there, when the tour was over, I started doing Family Hustle, and Family Hustle never stopped filming. Like, I mean, now they did, but before, like, they was like, once the season air, as soon as it's done, they start back filming. So it was like no break in between that. Then I was getting more clients and more opportunities, and just, I mean, keep in mind that was 2017, the end of 2017. So
right,
it was like
you
2018.
actually was on on OD podcast right when you got off the tour, because I remember you was telling the
period,
because you was talking about that last show on that cruise.
Oh yeah, we went to Jamaica and they got dang,
you still got paid though.
Still got paid, but that show was we ended up going to Jamaica to do the Tom Joyner cruise, and when we literally, they were walking on stage, like, I mean, fully dressed, makeup done, hair done. We were looking at the stage. The audience was in the chairs. They introducing them. They got on the stage and literally it started raining, like.
What a buzzkill!
It rained so bad.
Tom Joyner cruise.
Yeah, that was the last one too, and it was so bad. So they couldn't like squeegee the stage off after because the boat of course had a time that they had to pull off from the dock. So we were over the time and everything, so we just had to get off. And they were Tom Joyner was like, honestly, I will pay y'all to just meet us at the next destination and just do the show over there. So we were supposed to go to Puerto Rico and do the show. So I'm like, damn, we get to go to Jamaica and Puerto Rico and get paid.
And did y'all do that?
No, the drummer had to go home. He had court, so he wasn't able to push that back.
Trust me, my brother, I understand.
So yeah, he had court. So it was like the drummer and somebody else. Like, people had other stuff to do, but
dang, that would have been fire. They could have did acapella.
You know what I'm saying?
Consider, because in my eyes, the people that was on the cruise clearly saw what happened, so they would appreciate any kind of show at this point. Tonight, y'all be doing tonight with no audio. You couldn't tell me y'all couldn't do the rest of the songs. I would have stayed on that ship.
They could have just did a pre-recorded. They could have did like pre-recorded backgrounds
or
and
something.
No live band, but I don't know.
Yeah,
it was cool though. I didn't mind. I was like, wow, but. Yeah, I experienced a lot of first timers on that tour, and it really molded me into an artist.
They were very pleasant to work with too. It don't seem like you had like a lot of drama because obviously they mature and they've been through that aspect. But I can't imagine if you would have went on stage, like went on to like some young.
It was genuinely
artists.
fun.
Yeah.
I definitely want to experience that though, like working with an artist that's like current. Yeah. No shade. And this is not shade at all, but I said that. I was like, honestly, I want to do another tour, but I want to do somebody that's closer to my age group because the thing is, you do have off days on tour, and like we wanted to explore. Like we had like 2 or 3 off days in Miami. We had a week in LA. Like the major cities, we had like off days that we could do stuff. Only one that we didn't was New York because they actually had a lot of press. So we did like Good Morning America, which we had to wake up, which we had to be on set at 3 a.m. for. Okay. 3 a.m. call time. So just imagine that. And then we had to go back to New Jersey after that. They had to do another show, then do a show that night. It was crazy. But yeah, I do want to experience a tour with somebody around my age group. I could do like really fun makeup. That's why I'm hoping that Flamilla go on tour because I'm definitely going.
So I feel like I knew your story on obviously and how you got to this point, but I don't think I really realized that you stopped like after Mac. That was your last time.
Yeah, I literally quit. Like, and I was like in a dilemma. Like, in my head, I'm like, should I quit my job for this? Should I quit my job?
I'm glad you did. And
I was like, if I don't take no risk, I ain't gonna get nowhere. And I say that to say that this is gonna be the year I move to LA. I'm gonna just go.
Period. As you should.
I'm gonna just move with my eyes closed.
You should.
I'm gonna just go. This is it. Atlanta is just wearing me out, child. I can't do it no more.
That's fine. And to think, I mean, honestly, and even if I was in your position, at least the fact that you was making so much money that if you couldn't find work, you had your bills that would be taken care of.
Yeah.
But like, that's amazing. I hope that inspires somebody for real.
I'm sure. I hope it does. I'm sure it will. But
file
listen,
that lawsuit and quit that job. One thing we're gonna do is get some money. Cause baby, if I sat here and told y'all my job stories honestly, I think my journey in corporate America has been inspiring, but it didn't have to be. I just worked so many goddamn jobs before I graduated from college that I was like, oh, I know exactly how to get the job I want.
Period.
But anyways, all right. Well, thank you, Draco, for that story. I feel like I need to do something special for my career tomorrow.
What you finna do?
I don't know. I need to do a tell-all ebook or something.
Listen, that was a nerve-wracking experience. That was a very nerve-wracking experience at some point. So, even my life now is just nerve-wracking because you just kind of never know what's next, and especially me dealing with celebrities, and I'm not under contract with any of them. They could literally just wake up and say, I want to do makeup artist. So you just never know. So it's not, you just have to like really stay on your job and just do, but I mean,
only the strong survive.
Me.
Period. You strong. Period. All right, y'all. Well, this has been another episode of OD Podcast. Holla at your girl.
Holla at your world.
Holla at your curl. Holla at your twirl. Holla at your aura. Holla at your pearl. Holla at your swirl.
Goodbye.
Holla at your Real Housewives of Atlanta raw.
Oh, hell no.
Bye.